Was same-sex marriage really not allowed until 2015 in America? Gay marriage only became a nationally recognized right in 2015. Individual states had started legalizing it from 2004. It might seem weird, but when I was around your age, gay rights were as controversial and politically divisive as trans rights are today. And I'm not incredibly old. Before 2015, even heavy hitters like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were staunchly against same-sex marriage. That's how controversial it was. And of course it was Bill Clinton that signed the Defense of Marriage Act in the first place, and that act defined marriage as the union between one man and one woman. At least they agreed that same-sex couples should at least have some form of legal union for visitation rights, property transfers, etc. But they were definitely of the opinion that a marriage means the union of a biological man and a biological woman. And when the laws finally started changing to allow same-sex marriage, Hillary believed that it should be a states' rights issue, left up to the decision at the state level. Not sure where Obama stood on that one. So same-sex marriage is definitely a relatively new right, but it makes sense that people born in 2000 wonder what took so long. My junior year of high school I moved to a small town. One of the friends I made came out as gay. First there was multiple threats. Then there was violence. Which begat more violence. This took place in the late 90s. Nope, indeed wasn't legally nationwide until then. The results of activism towards that is very young. Hell, being trans was a punchline 20 years ago. In 2000, Vermont created the idea of a civil union, basically a separate category of marriage that let them give same-sex couples all the rights of marriage without actually calling it marriage. Some states followed, then a few years later Massachusetts really turned things upside down when their Supreme Court said banning same-sex marriage violated the Massachusetts Constitution. The current Republican Party official platform, right now, right this second, says that marriage should be between one man and one woman, and that they disagree with the Supreme Court ruling that allowed gay marriage. It makes me happy that you can't wrap your head around gay marriage being illegal. It's a sign of progress. I'm probably 20 years older than you, and, while I understand the Jim Crow South was real, I just can't believe it wasn't that long ago. It's nice that you see gay marriage the same way. Just wanted to add that 15 is not too early to start paying attention to politics. You are 3 years from being able to vote. It's been completely accepted the entire time I have been aware that gay people are a real thing. No, it hasn't been lol. It still isn't? You really haven't been paying attention. Open your eyes, conservatives haven't stopped trying to make it illegal, and they are getting closer. It has never been completely accepted. In my opinion, like abortion, this looks like it will send it back to the individual states. 10 years before you were born, Ellen DeGeneres came out on TV and it was world news. Not that long ago it was actually illegal to be gay in some places. Well, not to be gay, but to be caught doing something homosexual. I recommend the documentary about the Stonewall Inn. As an LGBTQ individual, I personally feel like the way the Supreme Court is heading, that one day they'll take away my rights for same-sex marriage, just as they did in Dobbs vs. Jackson for Roe vs. Wade a few years ago. Individual states allowed it, but not the whole country. Wait till you find out there's still people alive from when there was still segregation who probably remember MLK's speech. You know, up until 1967, it was illegal for a white person to marry someone who was not a white person in the US. The US doesn't really have all that great a track record when it comes to human rights, and it's simply amazing to me how fast it got through once folks started talking about it. Not American, but Australian here. It really was not allowed till 2015 here as well, sadly. We have much less states than America, so I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. I remember being told that everyone was voting either yes or no to the proposed change, and all that kid me could think was there's no way it's not legal. It's absurd how backwards everything was even just a few years ago, and sad really. Growing up I met many relatives and family friends who were queer and in relationships, and it's sad to think that I didn't even realize they were not able to legally get married to the person they love. Don't forget it wasn't too long ago that an African American and a white person could not marry America. Good luck. Sanctioned is probably a better word than allowed. I knew gay couples who were in de facto marriages way back in the 80s when I was a kid. Some had even had marriage ceremonies. They just weren't married in the eyes of the law. And then some states did start recognizing marriages or civil partnerships between same-sex couples, but that recognition didn't carry over from state to state. I remember hearing a story about a gay couple on a road trip got into an accident in a state that did not recognize their marriage, and one spouse was unable to make medical decisions or even visit their injured spouse in the hospital. The 2015 law made gay marriage the law of the land, so there would be no more situations like the couple in the hospital. A spouse is a spouse. Cakes are still a bit of an issue, though.